the nose area, like we did in the eye area, we look for the darkest places, and it's really just the line under the nostril there and under the nose tip, and it's a darkish yellowish shadow, so it's on the left side of the palette here, brown but grayish with blue, dark, you know. There's not a lot of it, just under the nose tip on the upper lip. Beginning of a nostril entrance there, but very faint. You can hardly tell the way, you know, way the head is tilted. So it's just a tiny little areas. And under the nostril, and then a little bit of a line up on where the nose begins. And we get an indication of the nose tip, the underside of the nose tip. And a little bit, looks a little bit redder here. And then a little shadow. There's a curl in the lip. There are other shadows coming out on the upper lip from the mouth, but we're not going to do that right now. But I do want to give some beginning of the cheek lines. I'm starting right here at the nose, at the nostril. Make sure it's yellowish. Just right here, the beginning of a cheek line. It's going to go down towards the mouth. Then we have the nostril tip, the nose tip, not the nostril. The nostril's on the left here, but the nose tip is separated from the nostril. Make sure we can distinguish the two. And then the other cheek line on the other side. Also coming out of the nostril area. It's coming down here from the mouth. It's the fold of the cheek. It's not the cheek itself, but the shadow it casts on the lip. And then we won't get into that right this moment on this step, but we notice behind the nostril flare is a shadow beginning. And it's also true here, just so confined it's hard to tell. That nostril. And then of course there's a behind the nose tip. The next step, we'll work on the nose directly. Slightly lighter tone, still yellowish. I want to now build on what we did before under the nose. Brush hair is not shaping well. I need to force it into the paint and get it saturated. Okay, so the hairs will stick together right. I'm expanding on the shadow under the nose, on the lip. Not sure about my color yet. Let's see how we do with this one. Sort of a yellowish, grayish. Red down in it. And a little bit to the right, but it's lighter, away from the blue. We'll move a lot further over where the white starts to make its presence felt. But I keep yellow in the tone. Don't want it too red at this point. And this is still just a little dip here in the upper lip. This little shadows coming from the mouth that we'll have to keep in mind later. And I want to work directly on the nose, along its underside. But I want to keep it grayish, so I'm going back over here where there's blue, a little touch of white pigment creeping up. Don't want to make it too light too soon. Nostril, and make sure that they separate, that we see a separation of the two. This is on the nose itself. Up to that shadow tone we just put in. Make sure we don't destroy it. This is our underside, under the tip of the nose, and coming around on the other side. going around the back of the nose tip, along the right side of the nose. Okay. Going to move back to the lighter tones, a little bit away from the blue pigment. There's still blue pigment all through here, but it's not so strong over here on this side, and therefore the tone looks a little brighter. And I'd like to have some of that to give a beginnings here to the cheek. The cheek has got a shadow under it, along its underside, coming away from the nose. And I keep it yellowish for now, which is our usual approach. Don't want to get too involved in the cheek and all that for the moment. Just give me some hint as to where we will go later. Pushing some white pigment through, turn it a little grayer. I'm going to work in this left area, still yellowish. Just coming up from the mouth, up towards the nose, along the cheek line. I don't want to lose the distinction between lip and cheek, so the cheek line is quite faint there. That's fine, as long as I can distinguish it. The same on the other side. Keep a yellow tone in there, yellow pigment. We don't have mouth corners painted in yet, so we can't do much yet down here. So we'll stay closer up to the nose. Okay, I'm now getting close to moving to our next lighter tone.